MarkRogersTV talking college football. And when I say college football, if you're a college football fan, these are the kind of games that you really get amped up for. This is historical kind of stuff. Miami, Notre Dame, you probably know the history, but the here and now is pretty exciting too. When we talk about the game between number 7 Miami and the Irish at number 3, we bring in Cam Underwood, State of the U, to help us sort this one out and get us set for a huge one. So what do you think, Cam? Is this about as good as it gets?
Yeah, this is getting towards the pinnacle of what college football is about. Mark Richt said last week the Virginia Tech game, which was 10 versus 13, Miami being 10th and Virginia Tech being 13th. He said that game was why you come to Miami as a coach, as a player, as a fan. That's what you look for. And that was true. And Miami won that game, blew them out. It could have been worse on the scoreboard because Miami dominated that game. And then you raise the stakes even further. Yeah, this is a huge game. This is a game I had circled ever since last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but I went to the game up in South Bend last year, spent some time in Chicago with my family before I drove over the first time. And being from Detroit, it was the first time I'd ever been to South Bend, because who goes to South Bend? But I did that, and I had that experience, and I've told it on Twitter, but I almost got kicked out of the game. And there was like old Grandpa Farmer Jones was the usher in the section, and I'm getting profiled and all kinds of stuff, man. And it was serious business. So that left a sour taste in my mouth, because I don't like losing, and I hate losing to Notre Dame in general. But yeah, now this year you have, instead of the aggregate, I think the teams had a combined 8 or 9 losses going into this game last year. This year, there's one loss between the two teams, and that's Notre Dame, a 1-point loss at home to Georgia. So you got a 1-loss team and an undefeated team, historical rivals who have played for national championships before, won national championships before, obviously. Yeah, just with a ton of NFL talent and storylines and things like that. So this is about as good as it gets, and I'm getting really excited for this week's game.
Hey, Cam, before we take off on the matchup against the Irish, you mentioned exactly in the same terms that I was going to mention the performance against Virginia Tech. Almost perfect. I'll say complete performance from the opening series, taking the ball all the way down the field to the half-yard line. And even though they get turned away, it was established, okay, this team's going to be able to move the ball against a really good Virginia Tech defense and then shut down the Hokies offense. And yeah, it was 14-3, 14-6, whatever the scores were. It was typically between 1 and 2 scores, so it didn't get out of hand. And there were some times in there that you thought, okay, Virginia Tech, if they can make a play or two here, then they can get within 1 score and it's a game. But there was no comparison between the two teams. It was a decided win. So you had to be real happy with a complete performance, considering the knocks against the team, even though they were undefeated coming in.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best game from cover to cover, front to back, that we had played this entire season. I love the enthusiasm and the gumption of Mark Richt to go for it on 4th down and goal on the first drive. I did not like the play call or the execution of that play call, but I liked the bravado to go down the field and just, walk down there. Had almost 500 yards of offense against Virginia Tech, had 28 points, and it could have easily been 38 points, or even more. Just a dominant performance. The defense stood up to the challenge of a diverse offense that, Virginia Tech runs the ball, and that's the thing that they've always done. Yeah, I know that Justin Fuente is going to bring in some motion. He's going to do some other kind of passing concept things too. But the secondary played lockdown. The special teams game was really, really good. Yeah, it just felt good because this team had been, there'd been major malfunctions at times during the game and games previously. And even during this game, there were times when, Malik Rozier had 3 interceptions in 6 throws. He had 2 interceptions in 3 throws even. So it could have gone a different way. The only reason I think that Virginia Tech scored a touchdown was because they had a 17-yard field after a quick turnover on one possession, an interception from Malik Rozier, whatever. But yeah, it was a great game, and that kind of shows what the potential for this team is. And even in blowing out Virginia Tech, even by dominating that game, they didn't really play a complete game, Miami, that is. If you take away some of those turnovers, if, you know, you finish those drives, a buddy of mine on Twitter wrote this. He said, you know, that was the best game we played, and we won by 3 scores, and we didn't even play completely. If Miami plays a complete game in all facets, like to their top potential, it's going to be a boat race against most teams out there. I mean, just zoom, zoom, zoom. I mean, this team can score from anywhere on offense. We're going to shut you down on defense, take the ball away on defense. If we finish drives and are able to convert third downs, I don't think it's going to be close. I mean, I'm not saying today or on Saturday against Notre Dame, but if Miami hits peak efficiency, man, that's scary. And to have the kind of performance that we had with even an 80, 85% performance, that's encouraging. And hopefully this is the week against Notre Dame that I get 100% performance, because I need a win. Thank you.